I wasn't sure if I was going to watch Thomas and Friends All Engines Go. I recently subscribed to Paramount on Amazon, and I thought I'd check out some of the children's shows because I'm a fully grown child, and I've always loved Thomas the Tank Engine, even as an adult. But the reason I love Thomas is because I love model railways, and Thomas is usually a stop motion, or not necessarily stop motion, but he is a model railway train, and obviously the sets are tiny versions of actual locations and things, and I love that they use little model trains. Thomas and Friends All Engines Go is an animated cartoon series, and I kind of looked at it and thought, this doesn't look like it will have the same appeal as Thomas because of the reasons I've just mentioned. And then I thought, I won't really bother with it. And then I saw that the first episode and also the series as a whole are rated very poorly. The series has 80 episodes, despite the fact that it's got 2.3 out of 10 on IMDb, which is obviously terrible. And the first episode, A Thomas Promise, has 2.7 out of 10. Sure, that's only across 76 reviews and ratings, but needless to say, that's not great. And I thought, well, now I need to see what it's like. And there are two ways of looking at this. One, if I had never seen Thomas the Tank Engine before, if a child, the target audience, has never seen Thomas and never delighted in the style of filming that is used for Thomas, and they only ever saw this cartoon series about these trains that sing and speak and have important missions, it's quite cute. It's not too bad. This first episode is about pulling recycling cars to the recycling plant, and Thomas and Diesel are having a competition with pulling these trains, or these cars, and Thomas has a promise that he has to keep to Gordon, which is obviously keeping a promise is important, recycling is important, two very obviously important messages in this first episode that are delivered with cute characters and actually kind of an engaging song as well. So in itself, it's not bad. It really isn't. The animation is very bright, the characters have very interesting facial expressions, not as interesting as when they use the model trains, but still interesting enough, and the voice acting is very good. So on its own, if I'd never seen any other Thomas, honestly it's not bad. It really isn't. In fact, it's pretty good. But it's impossible to watch this and not compare it to other Thomases, because this is the anomaly. There are many seasons of Thomas the Tank Engine, over 20 now, and many films, and it's very unlikely that anybody would see this without having seen any other Thomas before. And because that's a formula that works, it's a style that works, when you see it this way, it's just very different. And also, I don't like the fact that Thomas has a voice. There's nothing wrong with the voice acting. The voice acting is very good across the board, but I think it's better that Thomas doesn't have a voice. I prefer it when they're narrated. So it's difficult. It really is difficult, because on its own, completely on its own, it's actually kind of good. And I will, give it the benefit of the doubt and analyse it as an independent entity. This first episode, at least, has a lot of good things and a lot going for it. But because it's impossible, unless, it's the first Thomas show that you show a young child, it's basically impossible for them to watch this without having preconceived notions about what Thomas should be like. And because of that, I feel like maybe they were trying to do something different, and I just don't think it works anywhere near as well. Maybe it's cheaper and quicker. I don't know that for a fact. I don't animate. I can't animate. But I imagine it takes quite a long time to set up model railways and to have Thomas getting into all kinds of sticky situations that way. So maybe it's cheaper and easier. I don't know. Feel free to, confirm or deny that if you do know anything about that. And I think as a one-off, it's not bad, but for 80 episodes, I don't know how it lasted as long. It may be still going. I don't know if they're still making it. But honestly, on its own, really isn't bad at all. But if you're a fan of Thomas the Tank Engine, well, I don't think it's aimed at current fans of Thomas. I really, really don't.